Hey, it's Christian Buckley here at ESPC24 in Stockholm. Good to be back in Stockholm, but I'm here with Tony. Tony, why don't you introduce yourself for folks that don't know you?
Hi, yeah, I'm Tony Pounder. I'm CTO of Intelligent Decisioning. We're a Microsoft partner of some 17 years with solutions in M365 that encompass intranets, document management, and navigation. Good to be with you, Christian.
And so how many ESPCs have you attended?
This is my first ESPC, first time attendee. I have been to the Power Platform events for the last couple of years, and they're an excellent event, and I'm expecting this one to be just as good.
So we caught up, it's like Tony's one of those people, like, I think I met you in 2009, like right at the beginning. So
Absolutely.
I left Microsoft, there's, for the SharePoint crowd, the epic moment, I think the biggest of the events, and people-wise it may have gotten bigger after that, but the SharePoint conference in 2009 was just a seminal event for so many of us, that people that we met at that event that we're still in touch with all the time. So I approached Tony, I was like, hey, for the old school people, there seem to be a lot of older SharePoint people at this event. Just kind of really jumped out to me. But looking at kind of the evolution of the community, that side of it, like what's new, what's different, what feels the same to you?
I think there's a lot that is still the same, this desire for people to come together and discuss technology, the SharePoint thing. The SharePoint story still seems to be really, really interesting to people. There's been talk over the years that SharePoint's going away, it's been hidden in the background, but I say, no,
it was like 5-6
not.
years ago, I think we had the experience, and the folks that have been in the community for a while understand this. There was a keynote presentation where the word SharePoint was only said like 5 or 6 times, when the keynote a year earlier, it was like 50 times, and people were like, what does this mean?
What's going on?
They only mentioned like there's something, they're killing SharePoint. It's like, no, there just weren't any major announcements around that keynote.
Absolutely.
But,
and I think when you see Jeff Teeper evangelizing about SharePoint, you realize that SharePoint's still in really good hands. It's still got a lot of story to tell, and there's a lot of advancements released every sort of event that I've been to since 2009, I think, all that way back.
Well, interviewing Teeper at this event last year, and he said that this 2024 was going to be like the biggest year as far as number of features and the scope of what's being developed for SharePoint in SharePoint's history, really since I'd say since the 2010, the major release of 2010. And it's been kind of a slow burn. I mean, it's been spread out over the course of the year, but there have been some massive changes to that. And so if you've not yet caught, of course, if you missed the keynote, whatever videos are available that are out there, but Jeff Teeper's Ignite 2024 keynote, go through and look at that in detail, and his team, what he focuses on. There's been a tremendous amount of updates. Remember how ugly the product used to be?
Indeed, yes. If there was reference to it this morning in that they said they would have liked to have put the 2015 SharePoint UI up against the current UI that's available today. And there's been massive improvements in it, certainly over the last 2 to 3 years, where it seems as though there's been a lot of investment in making it look beautiful again, rather than it being purely utilitarian and functional. I think that's a good thing, and it's to be applauded, and I hope we keep on seeing that, because other technologies such as Power Pages for the last 3 or 4 years have had this capability, and we as SharePoint people look back and think, we used to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Then we couldn't, and now we can again. So hopefully we'll be front and center again.
Well, there's always change with technology that happens there, but I've heard that conversations a couple times already this week. This is day 1 of the full conference, but heard 2 different conversations where people talking about, like, what are the opportunities for somebody that wants to get involved in this space? Like, clearly, if you were in an organization that has a formal intranet and is building that out, and you see a lot of smaller organizations that are like, we don't need to go and build a full intranet. We can use Teams, some that are using like Viva Engage, formerly Yammer, like to do the social aspects of that. But there's still tremendous opportunity to go and develop your SharePoint skills and build and support intranets in that space. But what is your advice to somebody that is interested in content management, intranet in this space? Like, where are the opportunities, or what should people go and learn about?
Well, it's a massive question, Christian, and I think
I only like to ask small questions. That's right.
I think what I'd say is, first of all, involve yourself in the community, come to events like this, identify the kind of sessions that you want to go and see, make those connections, those networks with people that basically can help you get to where you want to be. It's always a tough one. What shall I specialize in? But I think you'll find that as you speak to people and as you begin to get an understanding of the different aspects of SharePoint and the different aspects of the technology, I think that will become clear. And attending an event like this and the other similar ones is the best way to get going on that.
It is. It's not just the sessions that you attend and you hear like around that topic. That's great to have that education. But as I always say, it's the serendipitous discussions you have in the hallway, the meetings, the networking, that aspect of it. And what I say, even if you're not at this event, if you're not able to attend a major conference, from a regional basis, so we have like the community days and collab days events that are now, like the calendars are integrated for those two things now. So wherever you are in the world, there's different versions of those events going on. But reach out to the experts that you become familiar with Tony and myself. You see, reach out, connect with us in LinkedIn through social and say, hey, here's what I'm doing. They don't have to be an MVP to be friendly and want to connect and talk with you and share information. There's people that are regulars that are longtime community members that, again, if you, like, are you writing, blogging? Are people finding you that way?
No, not much these days. I don't think there's quite as much of that goes on as there used to be. Certainly in the 2006, 7, 8, 9 time period, there wasn't a lot of information out there, and things like the SharePoint UK community and other communities sprang up to try and form that self-help group. I don't think there's quite as much need for all of that now because Microsoft are doing a better job of documenting this information and making it easier to find.
I always like to amend that by saying that Microsoft has done a better job at working with the community to create that content that they're aggregating. So when you go to like docs on Microsoft and things, a lot of that documentation, a lot of times, I realize there's a lot of great people that work for Microsoft creating content, but a lot of that is community driven. But the point is, even if you're reading out on the docs, the formal documentation, look at the authors of some of those things, and a lot of times you'll see community people reach out and connect with those people. Say, hey, I just read this. I'm interested in this topic. I'm interested in connecting and learning more about getting involved with the community. Like, you just have to be brave. Put that first step forward, reach out and connect with people.
And I'm yet, in the 17 years or so that I've been involved in this community, I'm yet to have been shunned by anybody on any question, even from the very early days.
I didn't realize that. I'll talk to people. We'll make sure that you have that first experience.
Yeah, thanks very much. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm sure that can be organized. But no, seriously, I've never yet had anybody say, oh, clear off, I'm too busy or whatever. You're always met with civility, willingness to help. This is why the community is a winner.
Well, that's certainly a trademark of the MVP. The people are they're MVPs in the community because they have that personality, that style. But it's a lot of the people that are actively producing content, whether it's formally through Microsoft or their own blogs or content and shows, like they generally put themselves out there. They're looking for feedback and connections, and so I guess that's the point. Don't be shy.
Absolutely, don't be shy. Come forward, step forward, introduce yourself. Talk about your problems. I'm sure somebody can help you.
Now, are you overwhelmed by the nostalgia from this, of the people that your faces that you're seeing? Because we're seeing a lot of, again, the old timers that are here.
We are indeed, yeah. There's a number of people here, yourself included, who I met for the very first time in the physical world at the SharePoint conference 2009. At the first SharePoint, I think, on the first evening, I met a whole load of people who I still keep in contact with to this day, and I've seen at events. So yeah, I'm absolutely overwhelmed with nostalgia. It's amazing to be back.
Well, it's great to see you again. I wasn't expecting to see. There's a few faces that I'm like, hey, I didn't know you were coming to this event. So it was great to see you.
I still get to a lot of events. It's just the first time I've been to this one.
I see you plenty online, but for us, an ocean apart and a large landmass. I'm on the West Coast.
Yeah.
But it's great to see friendly faces again.
Yeah. So let's have a chat later as well.
That's right. Enjoy the rest of the show and the content.